Hello there, wonderful pre-candidates. Welcome to Educate. Let us do the topography associated with massive igneous rocks. So you must remember one thing from grade 10, that deep down underground we have got a layer that is known as the mantle. So basically when you keep on digging down underground, you will end up reaching a layer that is known as a mantle. So the layer known as the mantle consists of liquid rock. The main composition of the mantle is liquid rock. So basically the liquid rock, it is known as molten magma. So it is the one that later forms a volcano when it rises all the way up to the earth's surface. Because remember, volcano is more like it's liquid fire or something like that. Okay, so that molten magma, that liquid rock, it is found in the mantle, which is the layer that is found deep underground, about 6,900 kilometers. So now, basically, when this magma can actually rise, okay, first of all, this magma can actually rise and it can solidify and become hard. But before we get there, let us first look at the labels on this diagram. So in this diagram, you can see that we have got layers here. We have got layers here, these brown layers, all of these brown and yellow layers. These are layers of sedimentary rock. So whenever you see layers that are lying horizontally like this, these are known as strata. So basically these layers are known as strata. So whenever you hear me referring to the word strata, we are referring to the layers of sedimentary rock that are lying horizontally underneath the Earth's surface or underground from where we are. So now, this magma, we have said that it can rise, it can attempt to come to the Earth's surface. Okay, it can attempt to come to the Earth's surface and rise. But on its way, it is possible for it to solidify, or it is possible for it to become hard. Remember, when something solidifies, it's becoming a solid, basically. So in this case, the magma, it can rise and it can solidify. So it can become hard, but don't use the word become hard, but it's just trying to express that this liquid rock, it can become a solid rock underground. So now, when we have got a solid rock underground that is come from this magma, we say it is known as an igneous intrusion. So whenever you see the word igneous intrusion, we are talking about any landform or anything, any type of rock that solidifies underground, that is solidifying from the molten magma. Because when you say that it's the molten magma, we mean that it's liquid, or it's porridge-like. Its texture has got a porridge-like texture. So it actually becomes solid, it becomes hard underneath the ground. So now the first landform that we can have them, it is the batholith. So the batholith, it is the largest and the deepest igneous intrusion. So basically we have got magma that is trying to rise and come to the Earth's surface here, and then as it tries to rise and come to the Earth's surface, it can just solidify here and it becomes hard, such that it forms a very, 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 very big landform. So this is it's a very big landform. It is the largest of all landforms that you can have. So it is also found very deep underground as well. So it consists mainly of granite rock. That is very important for you to know, that the batholith, basically the rock that solidifies there, and the batholith, it is granite rock, which is just an example of an igneous rock. That is why we say that this is based on massive igneous rocks. And then now it is possible also for the molten magma to rise and solidify in a mushroom shape. So basically remember that mushrooms, they've got a shape like this. So this is a mushroom shape. So you can say it's a mushroom shape, or you can say it's a dome shape, but basically the idea is the shape looks like this. So the mushroom shaped intrusion, it is known as the laccolith. So the laccolith, it is a mushroom shaped igneous igneous intrusion. Okay, we say it's an igneous intrusion. And then now when you want to explain how does this mushroom shaped intrusion forms, it forms when overlying strata is pushed upwards by the hot magma. Remember, I've already told you that strata it is layers of sedimentary rock. The horizontal layers that you can see here, the brown layers, the yellow layers, all of these are layers of sedimentary rock. All of these are strata. So basically, when we're talking about a laccolith, the laccolith forms as a result of these layers that are being pushed upwards by the hot magma. So in a sense here, what we are trying to say is that when this molten magma, it is rising from the mantle, it is trying to rise and come to the earth's surface. So as it rises, it pushes up these layers of sedimentary rock, these horizontal layers of sedimentary rock. That's why you can see that in this diagram, these layers of sedimentary rock, they look like they've been pushed up. They end up having this shape that looks like a dome, this shape that looks like a mushroom. So basically, it is because this magma is very hot. So as this magma, as hot as it is, as it rises and rises and rises, it pushes up this overlying strata. You must use the word overlying. The word overlying is very important for you to use. It is to describe that these layers of sedimentary rock, these horizontal layers, they are on top of the magma. They are overlying the magma. So when the magma it is coming and it is trying to rise and rise and rise, these layers that are on top, which is the overlying strata, it is pushed upwards. And when it is pushed upwards, you can see that it forms a shape that looks like a dome. And when the magma fills in the space, it will create this laccolith, which is a mushroom-shaped igneous intrusion. Then we have got a lopolith. So the lopolith is a saucer-shaped. A saucer-shaped would have an idea of something like this. This is a saucer-shaped landform. So you can see that from this diagram, we can identify this to be our lopolith. So the lopolith looks like a saucer. So basically it's like a plate, a cup, or okay, let's just say a plate that is facing upwards. So now that is the shape of the lopolith. Now to explain the formation of a lopolith, the lopolith forms when underlying strata sinks due to the weight of the magma. So basically the lopolith forms when underlying strata sinks due to the what? Due to the weight of the magma. Why does it actually sink? Basically, in a lopolith, or let's just say for a lopolith to form, you have got molten magma that is rising and molten magma that is rising. This one doesn't push the layers upwards like in a laccolith, but the weight of the magma is heavy, all right? The magma is what? Is heavy. So the heaviness or the weight of the magma will cause the underlying rock strata. When we're talking about the underlying strata, we are talking about the layers of rock below the magma. Remember, overlying above the magma. Just like for a laccolith, we've said that the layers above the magma are pushed, which is the overlying strata. But for the lopolith, the layers of rock, these horizontal layers of sedimentary rock, they are feeling the weight of the magma and they sink. Okay, so the layers will sink. So basically here the layers will sink something like this. Let's just draw a sketch to show you. So these are horizontal layers of sedimentary rock. They will sink. So these layers of sedimentary rock will sink. Why are they sinking? They are sinking. It is because of this magma that is so heavy. So this magma will end up filling this space here. And when it fills this space, you can see that it will create a shape that looks like a what? A saucer, and that is known as a lopolith. So the saucer-shaped igneous intrusion is known as a lopolith. It forms as a result of the underlying strata that is sinking due to the weight of the magma. So once you know how to explain these three, you now need to look at the side, the sill and the dike. So now the sill and the dike are very easy to understand because we don't have to explain too many things. We just need to know the shapes of them. So we have got a dike and a sill. So the dike, it is straight like this. It's straight, it's vertical. All right. So the dike forms when magma solidifies vertically. So the main thing that you need to know about a dike is that it is an igneous intrusion that look vertical. Okay, it can be diagonal, it can be slanted, but the idea is it looks like something like this. It looks vertical, something like this. So now here we can try to identify that from our diagram, because you can see that here molten magma is trying to rise there, but you can see that it solidifies in a vertical shape. So this vertical shape is a dike. So the dike, it is just formed here when this molten magma solidifies in a vertical shape. So we can even label this as the dike as well. This is also a dike. Basically, we have got magma, molten magma, and it solidifies, it becomes hard, or it becomes a solid rock as a vertical landform. Then we have got a seal. A seal, it forms when magma solidifies horizontally. So basically, we can have a seal when magma solidifies horizontally. So it means here the molten magma was rising, and it was rising, and it was rising. So as it rise and rise and rise, it actually solidified horizontally, something like this. So you can see that this landform here, it is horizontal. So this is the molten magma, but now it has formed an igneous intrusion that is known as a seal because it has solidified. But we are more interested in the shape in which it solidified. It's a horizontal shape. It doesn't push any layers. It doesn't have a weight on any layers. We just say it's a horizontal igneous intrusion. That is a what? That is a seal. So now you need to be able to identify these on a proper diagram. I mean the diagram that is most common to your exam. So when you look at this diagram here, you can look at a couple of labels, 1 up to 7 here, but we'll just label a few here and try to see, are you getting a grasp of the shapes of these igneous intrusions? So now, first of all, we've got a number 1. So the label 1 here, you can see that all of this that is painted in black, this is representing the magma, of course. And then you can see that these are the layers of sedimentary rock. These are the horizontal layers of sedimentary rock. So you can see that feature number 1, igneous intrusion number 1, it has got a shape that looks like a mushroom, because you can see that it is facing downwards, something like this. And you can see that also the layers, the sedimentary rock layers, they've been pushed upwards. Look at this. They've been pushed upwards. It shows that they've been pushed by this hot magma. All right. So this hot magma pushes the what? The horizontal layers of sedimentary rock, which is the strata. All right. So now this is known as a laccolith. Remember, we have said that this is a laccolith. So feature number 1 would be a laccolith. Why would we say that this is a laccolith? The shape is mushroom. Okay, I'm sure that's clear. As for 2, I cannot say properly here, but I think we can say that 2 is a dike, because you can see that here for 2, you have got molten magma and it solidifies in a more like a horizontal way. This looks horizontal indeed. So 2, we can say that 2 is a dike, because here the molten magma has solidified in a slanted way. It's more like it's a vertical in a sense. We can say it's a vertical way. And then you can also look at number 4. Number 4 is also a dike as well, because you can see that here, this is the molten magma. It is rising and it solidifies. It solidifies here and it solidified vertically. It is standing, something like this. So now this is also a dike. So we can assign level 4 to a dike as well. All right. And then we also have got number 3. You can say that number 3, it is describing this entire thing. Is very big. You can see that it is the biggest here. All of this is number 3. All of this is number 3. So you can see this is a lot of molten magma that is solidified. This is a lot of molten magma that is solidified. So this big, or this vast, wide, its largest, it is deepest. You can see that it is the one that is found below the most. So it is the deepest, it is the largest. Which igneous intrusion? Remember, that is deepest and largest. It is the what? The batholith. So we can say that 3 will be our batholith, because it's a very large igneous intrusion, and then it is forming the deepest. If we compare to the other landforms here, they are forming on top, but it is forming below, or it is forming at the deepest level. And then now we can also look at number 5. You can see that label number 5 there, it shows a seal, because you can see that these are the layers of okay, this is the molten magma that is solidified. In this shape, it is horizontal. It is just horizontal. So this horizontal shape here, it shows that this is a seal. So number 5 will be your seal. And then number 7 here, look at number 7. Number 7 here is a lopolith because it looks like a saucer shape. Look at this. At the bottom, you can see that it looks like a saucer here. It looks like a saucer. This looks like or whatever that you can call that, but it looks like a bowel, a saucer. I don't know if you use saucers to eat, but we do that in rich homes. Okay, in my house at least. So basically, this is a saucer shaped. So we can say that 7 represents a what? It represents a lopolith because it has got a saucer shape. And then you can see now 6. It is other people may be tempted to say it's a dike, but you can see that this is the earth surface. This is where we are. This is the earth surface basically. And then when this magma reaches the earth, you know that in grade 10 that when this magma reaches the earth surface, it forms a volcano. So basically number 6 we say is known as a volcanic pipe. All right, so number 6 is known as a volcanic pipe because the magma there, it is actually trying to rise and come out of the earth surface. So it's not an igneous intrusion because remember we've said that igneous intrusions, they occur when molten magma solidifies underground or beneath the earth surface or below the earth surface. But here, the volcanic pipe, you can see it is coming out of the earth surface. This is a mountain-like structure. This looks like a mountain, right? And then this smoke here, this smoke here, it is coming from the volcano because basically this molten magma, when it reaches the earth surface, it's a volcano, all right? And this volcano results in the formation of mountains and whatnot. That's why 6, which is where this magma moves through, it is known as a volcanic pipe. And then now, there you have it. In our next video, we'll be doing the igneous extrusive landforms such as the tors, such as the granite domes, as well as the monoliths. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. I mean, pre-candidates. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to stay tuned.